What's up, people? It's me again, Valentino. They call me V.
And it's British, and they call me B.
Love and marriage, love and marriage, love and marriage.
So look, we've had some things floating around. We've had some people bring up some topics for us to talk about. A big thing, communication, because it's important.
Very important.
Very in relationships.
You got to talk to the person.
It's really got to be like the foundation of your relationship. Because if y'all not talking to each other,
What's love got to do with it?
uh,
Love got to do with it. Hey, we starting early with the songs, y'all.
the real early.
But communication is key, and we keep bringing it up in conversations, and we keep bringing it up in videos because without all the other things we've been talking about, without communication, all the other things we've been talking about
mean nothing.
nothing at all. Because if you're not listening to the person, if you're not hearing them and listening to them, trying to literally understand and find a compromise, there's no point. No point at all.
Now, I understand, like, with communication, this got to come with some tactics and some things. You got to be able to talk through it and work through it. We just can't, because a lot of people talk at each other instead of talking to each other. But it does no good if I say, I don't like how you act.
It's a little spicy in this left ear of mine. You hear that?
I'm just saying. But
And at that point, I'm like, okay, forget what you said. Why you yelling? What you hollering for?
you're not listening at all.
I done stopped listening because at that point you're attacking me. And if we're approaching a problem, one thing I have heard over the years is that a few older people tell these young folks like us, when you get in these relationships, whether it's just a long-time partnership, marriage might not be for you, or you in a marriage, just any kind of partnership or togetherness, you got to understand that when y'all have arguments, it's y'all against the problem, not you versus him versus you. Okay?
Hello, that's an empire that we trying to build and stuff like that. Anytime you get together, if it's going to be a union like this, there's got to be a common goal that we working towards. Not saying that we're going to have this big CEO company and stuff like that. That would be great, though.
I think we're still working on that, though.
We are. But I'm just saying there's got to be some kind of goal in your relationship. And it's going to stagnate it. It's going to slow it down if you're not doing things like properly communicating with each other. I don't care if you got to figure out safe words or whatever in an argument. Arguments, creative discussions, whatever they want to call it. Either are we listening to each other? Are we talking to each other?
Whatever it is you're doing, whatever you want to call it, have you listened to the person? See, a lot of things I've seen over the years is that in different relationships that I saw fail, different adults at the time that I thought was being real adult-like. I'm not saying divorce is bad per se, because you never know that some people get married young, some people get into relationships before they're ready, some people just needed a rebound and stay forever and looking past all these flaws and stuff. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what situation you're in. If you're not listening to that person, it could end in all these things. You go through life and you know how to communicate with you know how to talk to other people. But now you living with somebody, you in a situation with somebody, and they have a different way of communicating. They have a different love language. Love languages,
That's another
y'all.
thing right there.
If you don't know your partner's love language, you won't be able to communicate properly. It's one of the key ingredients to communicating properly. Trust me, we had to learn the hard way.
Yeah, it was a big thing that we worked on was knowing each other's love language. She understands that for me, I like quality time. That's my love language, that I want quality time.
Yes.
Now, towards her, I'm
Physical touch. That is me.
I be touched. I touch her. Yes.
Yeah. But
she like my hands, they warm.
y'all, he like 108 all the time. Another story, another time. But for real, we had to learn that because all the time we were having arguments, and it's like, put your phone down. Like, can you spend time with me? Like, do I need to be in your phone? And I'm like, okay, all right. I feel like what is this? I mean, granted, social media kind of taking over the world. Technology is
is.
making it smaller.
It is.
Communication is getting limited because of modern day technology. But that doesn't mean it has to take it over. You have to make a like valiant decision in yourself. Like, okay, I'm gonna put my phone down. Like Erykah Badu say, I can make it. I can make it. Put your phone down. Hey.
Hey.
But
Come on, that was recent. Look at you. Look at you.
Y'all, he knew it.
Yes.
Anyways, but that that was one thing that I had to really realize. Like when we get in the car, first, like on road trips and stuff, the first hour I try not to be on my phone. If I am, I bring him into the conversation. Then I put my phone down when this conversation get real good. And then when we watch the TV, we talk about the show, and then we, you know, communicate to each other, whatever. And these are little things I had to learn that give him more time with me. You know, full undivided attention time. It ain't, you know, you might think time is like, well, you sitting with me, ain't that time?
That
No.
ain't nothing.
Because if y'all just sitting at each other looking at the screen, that's not spending time
There ain't no
together.
time at all. Like,
There's
you're
no
not
time
talking
spent.
to each other. There's no bonding. There's no connecting. No nothing.
Then you don't know who you're sitting by after a
You
while.
just know it's somebody here. Ooh.
You got a roommate. You ain't got a partner. You don't have a friend. You don't have an encourager. You don't have a lover. You just have a roommate. You know, and that's not what a place you want to be, personally. You know.
And it was things that I appreciated. You know, leaving, like with her putting her phone down. That was a big thing that we dealt with because, and it's not so much of her just being rude. She used to it being her, and if she's an introvert, so it's a group of people.
Stay within.
If you not focusing the conversation on talking to her,
You got to be like, hey, British, and then proceed. Like, if you don't say that or something in that manner, what I will be is checked out.
on her phone, and
Or reading,
it took
or
me,
singing,
It
or
took me a
headphones in.
minute. It took me a minute to catch it because I was like, "Ooh, I'm here." I know I was, and you know, like y'all know, again, I'm petty. I would
Very.
text her. I'd be like, "Hey, I'm right next to you."
He has done that a few times.
Hey.
It's been a while. It's been about over a year or so since
Yeah.
he did that. That means I'm doing better, y'all.
Much better.
I learned his love language and I'm using it. Okay.
Yeah.
But on top of that, like on my end of the spectrum, see, us sitting together was me. Like that was best for me. This right here is great. It's
She
great.
loves it.
Just be
Loves
near,
it.
okay?
She loves
We might
it.
not have to talk. I can just feel your wavelengths. I can feel your heat coming off of me, y'all. He's so warm. That's why I be right up in here.
She loves
But you
it. I
know
stay
that
hot. I'm a hot boy.
this right here,
Hot
you know,
boy.
from time to time, hand on the thigh, holding hands, you know, hand on the shoulder, you know, kisses and hugs and stuff. And I'm like, okay, we good then. But I thought we were good when I wasn't spending time with him, and that's why you have to have those open conversations. What is really going on with you? Why are you mad at me? My phone ain't did nothing to you. He done threw my phone like 17 times, y'all.
Not 17, at least.
I had to get a
14
real
and a
durable
half.
phone, not only because I'm clumsy, but because he will throw it.
Like, hey, I'm here. I'm
But
here.
that's the main thing we finally got down pat is our love language. And it's not to say that your love language won't change over time. That's one thing that people have to remember. You are an ever evolving individual, and one thing you will never be is the same. Like, I am not the same woman I was before I had this baby.
Yeah, like I told her when we got together, like even when we got married, I said this relationship is an open relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm open to the woman you are now, the woman you'll be 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 25 years from now, because you're not going to be the same person. You know,
Neither
so
will
I
he.
have to be hoping.
And open.
Come on.
Open and open.
Yes, but I have to be open to who you are and who you going, what you're gonna grow to be. You know, and that takes communication.
Because
So-
if you, I talked to my mom, you know, about, you know, how my parents are knocking on 30 years together, y'all. If only I could be ever so blessed.
gonna
We
get
working
there.
on it,
We gonna
okay?
get there.
We just trying to make it to 5 right now, moment to moment. But
Listen, as y'all see, we
yeah,
working on it.
yeah. But you know, one thing she told me is that, you know, I had to make known to your dad that I'm not the same. I don't have the same interests. I don't have the same hobbies. I don't have the same goals. Like my parents about to be empty nesters. My little sister graduates Saturday, and they could just gonna be looking at each other
Listen.
like they looking in the house.
Listen,
Like,
looking like you.
honey,
looking.
we ain't never not had kids in a very long time.
But listen, now they can walk around with, you know.
In the Adam and Eve way.
Hello, come on, Adam and Eve.
Please
well,
don't put that visual in my head, Jesus.
And a burglar would not want to see when he breaks into a house. Rob.
Naked grandma!
Naked, huh?
I can't, because I'm thinking about myself, child.
What I can't think of is my mama Nick.
Ooh, no. But
listen, I love her. I love her. I love her.
we just
to
don't want
life.
to see that. We just don't want to see that. But
Naked grandma!
but the thing was that really rang true to me was like, oh, okay, because I know me. When I graduated from high school, I had totally different goals than I do now. When I turned 21, I had totally different goals than I had in high school going to college. Like right now, we is adventuring into the next season of our lives, and it's a lot of stuff going on, and we have different goals and different things we're trying to accomplish and stuff. But we have to sit down and talk about those things, which we have, and we have to continue to talk about those things. And one thing that I made a goal, you know, like a few videos ago, that goal getting.
Yes.
We made the goals at the beginning of the year, and one of mine was a weekly checkup, because we both struggle with, you know, anxiety, and me personally with depression and stuff. And to express those things, it kind of puts that barrier up for it. It kind of puts the front line up so you don't go through it either by yourself or at all. And communication helps that. It helps talk people. Talking your partner down off the ledge will save you. For serious, y'all.
So serious.
Oh, Lord. What is...
She getting ate up by skeeters?
Something got in the house, y'all. Like,
Mm.
I'm from the country, but I don't do all the bugs. Anyways.
She's landing on her flesh. She don't do
You
it.
just got to let me know first. But
But it
anyways.
helps. But like it helps. It helps so that way you can see where your partner's mind is at. You know, because a lot of times, a lot of people, we get up here, we get used to the routine, the hustle and the bustle of life and the day and stuff like
Especially
that.
with kids, y'all.
And we not stopping, taking the time to have these talks, have these conversations,
Yeah. Check
this
in.
communication. Yeah, check in, quality control. So just to see, because we don't know what's affected you in this week. You know what I'm saying? In this day, in this hour. You know, to know how their mindset is and see where it's at. You know, to make sure we still on the same page, on the same wavelength.
For sure.
You know, so big thing with communication.
Well, for one, I think the weekly checkups kind of, you know, we'll get in those routines, and little stuff will irritate you, and you'll be like, I'll get over it, and you keep pushing. But you need to deal with that, or it'll come up. That toothpaste cap moment we was talking about, it'll come up like that, and it'll be a bigger problem. But because we didn't check on it then, well, now it's this big problem, and then it's like you don't listen, and we don't ever talk, and it's like, whoa, we could have fixed this at all, like, period. So the weekly checkups is to be like, okay, if I got on your nerves, how did I get on your nerves? How can I make it better? Or how can we compromise? Because I just ain't gonna be different. You know, sometimes it's gonna be like that, y'all. You just
I
your
can't know I'm
attitude
doing something
ain't
wrong
right,
if you don't
ain't
tell
right,
me.
True. You know, it ain't right. Real. You just got to be like, that ain't really gonna change. Thank you for expressing yourself. I'm sorry you feel that way. But, you know, and then other times it's going to be like, oh, okay, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it like that. And then you can explain yourself, and they're like, oh, okay, we good. We okay.
And what I've told people, not even so much in a relationship, but I've said it a lot at work, and I use it in the relationship as well. You know, don't come at me with a problem without some kind of idea of a solution. You know, you just come in with the problem, but you have nothing that we can do to work on it together to fix it.
Or let me know, do you want to vent, discuss, or problem solve? Cause I'm immediately start troubleshooting if you don't help me, if you don't let me know.
Come on,
Cause it's
tech
like,
support.
cause as soon as you like, well, girl, listen, it went down like this, and I just don't know what to do, and it hurt my feelings, and I'm like, well, girl, listen, this, and this is sound like the product of that, and you got to do this, and this, and this. She's like, yeah, okay, and then next week she like, well, I did it anyways, and it's so what did I help you with?
What? Nothing.
What did? No, I'm not about to waste my breath if you was just about to go do whatever you wanted to do. I mean, granted, this is just my opinion. This is just my own personal experience I'm giving you. But please, let me know. If I just need to be a sounding board, let me know. I'll listen. Girl, yes, honey. Yeah, that sounds great. Or, you know, let's rethink this. Let's rethink this. I'm going to need you to go back to the drawing
Think
board.
this through. Let's write this out.
That's, yes.
Draw a picture,
You know,
something.
write the vision, make it plain. Come
Hello.
on. The big
Hello.
book. But see, communication, not just in your relationships with your friends, with your family. Those boundaries.
Oh.
How will you create boundaries if you do not know how to communicate? Honey, listen.
And you got to be willing to have these open conversations. You know, don't say, okay, I want to do it, let's talk, let's communicate, but you not coming into it as willingness, you making it appear.
True.
You know, if you're not willing to be open to the criticism that you may get in this conversation, you know, why are we here?
Because every bit of communication you get from somebody, every opinion or help and encouragement you get from somebody is not always breaking you down. That's your own attitude and soul hurt and stuff. You can't be big mad because you came to me with a problem and asked me to help you, and then you can't take constructive criticism. You have to be able to self-reflect. Like, self-actualization is a real thing. Like, you got to be here with it. Okay.
You
Like,
gotta start with the man in the mirror.
come on, like,
He meant it when he said that was a gift.
like the king said, you know.
But you do that, it's going to take self-reflection. The whole thing with communication and to be able to survive in a relationship is be able to take those moments when there is some kind of criticism and look at yourself and self-reflect and see what you can do with yourself to fix it.
Yes.
You know, or, you know, just to make it better.
And don't think that they nitpicking on you. Yeah, some of it might be a little nagging, but you is a little messy, but no, it's, you want to be better for you, and I want to help you. But you can't see that when you all angry and you thinking everybody against you, especially your partner. If you're thinking that they're trying to come against you and tear you down and stuff, you're gonna take what they say like real serious and to heart, like they're trying to make you feel bad, and that's not the case at all. They're trying to help you, like, hey, you do realize that you do such and such and such and such. And I understand that that's up in a part of your life, but you're going to have to work on that if you're trying to get to X, Y, Z. A, B, C can't happen without X, Y, Z, you know?
Well, that goes with the approach, though, too.
True.
You know, if you come at me
How
wrong,
he came in this left ear, you can't do that.
okay.
You can't do that.
You know, and there's been things that we've worked on and we've tried to do.
Yes.
You know, hey, I don't like it when you do this, but I do like it when you do it this way.
Thank you.
You know,
You can't
that's
come in this left ear like he was hollering.
that's still voicing out like, hey, I don't like when you wash the dishes this way and put them up
don't.
like this. You don't. She
sure
don't.
don't.
Me and the dishwasher.
But he do it, y'all. He's so much better. I'm proud of him.
Better, because who would
But-
stacking them and run it 3 times to make sure it was clean?
It's
and
still
clean?
dirty. Press it again. But
One more.
that mantra is a good like communication tool. And then I've had a few like friends of mine, and we have truth moments. In this moment, please take what I say with a grain of salt. Yes, this is how I truly feel, but then you need to think like, oh, okay, am I really like that? So it's like truth moment. You really got a bad attitude, and you can't get across to people because they already feel bad because you done came at them like they some little 5-year-old kid. And then they, well, I ain't always got to. Okay, that right there, that's what they seeing. What I'm, you see? You
I
see
ain't
that?
got no attitude. Well, tell that to your throat.
Yeah, come on. come on somebody.
Come on, I've said that. I've said that a few times.
That's his
I
faithful
think.
line.
Listen,
Faithful line.
because what you can't do is say you ain't got no attitude. Well, I don't like how you do this and stuff like that. I ain't got no attitude. Well, tell it to your throat because
Your neck.
it missed the message.
Your neck, it's got a
It
roll
missed the
in it.
message.
It's got a roll in it. But you know, overall, those
She's
little.
not a neck roller. I appreciate it.
I'm not. I'm a
appreciate
little
it.
bit of a clapper, and I'm a
Listen,
pointer.
She's listen.
But listen.
Listen.
But you know, those are little things you learn over time. Like, hey, I don't like it when you clap at me. Okay, so I'm gonna do more pointing. I gotta do something, y'all. I talk with my hands. But but
And
I
she
do
laughed
like
at
it
me.
when you point. Oh well, great, because you getting a lot of pointing now.
I point at myself. She
Listen.
laugh at me every time.
I do.
Who?
Because he'll be like,
Because
yes,
she be
you-
done something or whatever like that, and then I won't say, shh, don't say nothing. Don't say a word. Just
I'll be like, no,
be quiet.
go
Get it
ahead,
together.
be real with it.
Nope, get it
That's one
together.
thing. That's another thing. Do not be afraid to be real. Don't be mean. Be real. Don't
And
hold
it-
back. Do not tiptoe on, walk on eggshells with your partner, because that is not going to help them be a better person. You're going to aid and abet somebody with a horrible habit, and that is not what you want to do.
Don't get me wrong. Now, when I do that, when I do this, you know what I'm saying? It's me doing a self-reflection right there in that moment. It's like, is this really one of them things where I really need to get upset about it? Is it really
Like,
that serious?
is this
Am
really
I
about
getting,
to be an argument?
Am I getting butt hurt over something? And she know I
Yes.
said what I'm not about. We're not about to argue about the volume on the television. It's
Sure
just,
not.
It's just not gonna be one of
Sure
those
not.
moments. I'm just gonna turn it up or turn it down, whatever you prefer. We'll be all right. I'm not gonna make this.
Pick your battles. Oh, pick your battles.
Stop getting so offended so easily.
Oh, my gosh.
Because a lot of times that's what these arguments is about. You got offended. Why? Because it was true.
Listen,
Because the
Come
truth
on.
does hurt. It stings. But the truth shall set you free.
what the big book said.
True.
The big book said.
It does.
One of his things, I'm pretty sure he said it in the video. I would rather insult you to success
I
than
did.
sugarcoat you to failure.
I did.
And that's a great thing in communication, because with that you want your partner to be a better person for themselves first. For themselves first. And then y'all work on it together, okay? Because y'all are still two individuals who are choosing each other daily, okay?
Come on, daily.
So, yeah.
Remember
People think,
that.
like
Remember
I said
that.
earlier.
You are two individuals
Uh-huh.
working on your own individual issues, but you choosing each other daily.
Thank you.
You are two screwed up people that got together and just be screwed up and crazy
I told him
together.
when we got together, I'm a big pile of trash. Hot trash on
Listen.
a Sahara day, and I know it. I'm working on it, though. But if you want to stick around, I need you to know that. Be real. See, that kind of communication has to happen up front. That's why people get in these relationships and they're like, well, you didn't tell me you was dealing with all of this. Well, I didn't wanna run you off. Well, honey, if this is what I told him. I ain't ish. I'm not ish today. I won't be ish tomorrow. But I'm working on it. And if you so choose to be in my life for them days and any time after that, I need you to know that up front. I want to be real with you. I have some problems. I'm dealing with some stuff. And if I don't start working on it now and letting you know while I'm doing it, then you're going to be flabbergasted, hoodwinked, and led astray.
Bamboozle.
When I say I do, we come in this house and you looking at me upside my head because I'm tripping. Well,
Which I made it a point to make sure if I was gonna be with her, I was gonna be transparent as transparent can be.
and sometimes that backfire on him. I was like,
It-
you asked for
I
transparency.
did sometimes.
Not my fault. You asked for it. Be careful what you pray for, y'all. Be careful what you pray for.
Yeah, I pray for it.
He did.
I don't like the emotions that come with it.
And that's another thing. Like, you can't be out here. Men's, I know y'all was taught, especially us, these chocolate. If you got chocolate somewhere in your melanin, okay? It's okay to feel, okay?
It is.
And if the woman you're with is downing you for feeling, because you are a human first. Forget black, forget male. You are a human first. You have emotions, you have rights, you have like feelings and a soul. You have every right to cry, to be angry, to feel frustrated, to be depressed, okay? And it's okay not to be okay, but you got to express those things. And communication is a big key to that.
And I had to learn that. I did. I had to learn that all these emotions was okay. You know, at 6'5".
Y'all.
But I learned
We
it.
still working on it.
I'm here. I'm
He's
doing
so great now, though, y'all. When I met
Listen.
him, ooh, I didn't know if I could
solid-
do it.
solid
Jesus,
as a rock.
like, and I was that type of person. I dealt with my
I'm
own
stone
emotions by
kept.
myself.
Stone
And now-
kept gate.
I can't stand you. Anyways, I was, kind of compartmentalized myself. I dealt with my own emotions, and then I come out my shell and I'm okay. But now you got to deal with their emotion, your emotions. You got to express why you feeling the way you feeling, even if it's not their fault. Because one thing I found is that if I don't tell him that I'm checking out because I feel some type of way about something else, he's going to blame himself. But the only reason he blaming himself because he don't know. You got to communicate that. Hey,
Yeah.
I might not be very responsive this week because I'm dealing with some stuff mentally. It's this, and this, and I'm not going to be able to get to the end of it in the next hour or so. It might take a couple of days, and I just want you to know it's nothing you did. Okay?
Yeah. Or I'd say I'm feeling like this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have nothing to say. You did nothing. I'm just feeling this kind of way.
Feeling like you're feeling.
That's all. It's just one of the moments I'm feeling like I'm feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And it ain't got nothing to do with you, but it got everything to do with me.
True.
Which is big. Like in communication, especially with your partner, you want to have a partner and be in a union or what have you. You know what I'm saying? You got to be honest with yourself.
First.
If you're not honest with
Point blank,
yourself,
period.
this communication ain't gonna happen. It ain't worth it because ain't nothing really happening. We just building false hope and false fairy tales and
Listen.
stories.
And honestly, it's easier said than done because coming from somebody who deal with their own emotions on the inside, like I didn't even talk out loud. I was just up here with me. I was like, girl, listen, we just gonna have to figure some stuff out. You feeling like you feel it. Let's deal with this. Let's unpack this. And now I'm like, I got to tell him everything that we talk about up here. Like, that's hard,
It
and if you
is.
don't know how to properly communicate, if you didn't see people properly communicate, if you haven't experienced a relationship where somebody taught you before you met your partner, like, y'all gonna have to learn together. I mean, God will, they know a little bit of something, they can help you through it. But if you don't, if neither one of y'all know, and y'all are just yelling at each other and trying to get to the bottom of stuff, when y'all can really just sit down and have a conversation. This is how I feel about when you do this stuff. This is how I feel about this stuff that's happening in the world, and it's really, taking a toll on me. Or this is how I feel about the kids, and when you do this, and when I do this, and I feel left out of this. And you got to know to sit down and do that if you're really trying,
And if you really pay attention, a lot of the stuff that you deal with was really surface treatment issues
True.
that you buried and stacked stuff on top of and let it build up and get deeper and deeper. And
Because it's
deeper.
okay. It's okay. We understand. Everybody wasn't in this Cosby world. Well, ooh, this bad. Ooh, y'all, hold on.
What we gonna use?
What is it? What's another good one?
What family? I don't know.
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Them, Uncle Phil, them. You wasn't in a place where, it was somewhat of a structure to be like, hey, let's talk about this. It's okay to feel this.
That was a good one, but I didn't like how they swapped out on Bill. But it's all right. We're not gonna
That
talk about that.
colorism, we're going to talk about current events here soon, y'all. This just colorism. Listen, because he light skinned and this chocolate ain't going to get no lighter. So, listen, if you ain't with it, get lost. My melanin is popping. Regardless. But that we understand everybody wasn't growing up in Bel Air. Or somewhere, at least somewhere with like a strong foundation of communication and being open and being able to express yourself, and especially us, because it's hard. It's hard when you find somebody who's like, "Can you just talk to me?" And it's like, "I am talking." No, you're not. You're yelling.
Don't
You're yelling.
Don't yell at me.
Your volume.
Don't do it.
You're like, volume 2, please. You on 100.
Mute.
Thank you. And that, y'all got to get somewhere. And in order to get somewhere, you got to talk.
So, talk it through. Look, communication is key. If you
Always.
want your relationship to work,
Mm-hmm.
you got to be able to talk it through so you can get through and get past it. Because otherwise you just sitting there going through the motions, holding on to it. Why hold on to stuff when we can move through it and get past it? You know, do better for yourself.
For sure.
So this was one of them that we really had to talk about because people kept asking.
It might be a bit long, y'all, but bear with us.
Bear with us.
Tell your friends. Somebody who don't know how to communicate. Let them listen.
Learn how to talk to me.
Learn. Come and talk to me. Hey, I really wanna need you. Can I talk to you? Hey. So y'all, yet again, thank you for joining us for another video.
Thanks for being here. We
Don't
love
forget to
y'all.
like, share, and hit
The
the bell.
Ring a ding ding.
Ring a ding
Ding,
ding.
ding.
Ring a ding ding. Hey.
Come on, come on.